your warm words. Just quickly before I invite Eva to say the closing remarks, I'd like to introduce a man that has become a good friend of mine now. Dennis is the head teacher of the Chauncey School, where we've taken the play over the last few years, and he'd like to share a few words about the impact that the play is having on his children. Dennis, before you say those words, will you just say a little bit about the background of the kind of children you're attending to?
Later, I'm going to how later. 1,000 strong, comprehensive school, predominantly white working class, no Jewish people on rolls, for instance, no religious people, not religious school on any road. Because we're 20 miles from central London, obviously London is completely alien, so no access to it as well. Being London Irish, brought up in North London, then right, and then stayed they're ordinary kids in an ordinary school. We're doing extraordinary things. But the major aspect of our school is that we don't and ordinary working class kids each time. Would you like to say what you asked me to come and say?
Yeah, about the impact of the play.
Firstly, I'm honoured to be here. I met you very briefly in this afternoon. A few words at the Department of Education a couple of years ago. We've hosted this basic conference, and each time the reaction is the same. If I could say that, as Dr. Olsen said earlier, you can give them the statistics. You can talk about 6 million Jews, and then you say, well, that's like all of London. And the kids can't understand what that means. I can't understand what that means. 200 people on the street is a lot. And then you've got maybe 250,000 homosexuals, and you think, can you describe it as 2.5 times Wembley Stadium? And it's still not there. And to know that apart from the gypsies and the 10 million slags that killed, you've got 175,000 German handicapped people. And the kids can't really get to this, but once you mention handicapped people, you're on the way, because handicap is one of those things they seem to understand. And ordinary people in this country, I think, you do see the underdog. And a handicapped person is always an underdog. Then you can say there was 1 million children under the age of 18 were destroyed by the Holocaust. And again, you get a little inkling. But they're still not there. From the moment Nick comes, I pick him up at the station and he stops talking 3 hours later. Short sleep. I never have to talk again that day. But we host a play, there's not a word throughout, but that's the way they are. There's no mountains of human hair. I'm sorry for the images. And there's no skeletal figures that like at the end of the world at war. All there is, with all due respect to everybody, my phrase, ordinary people. Eva's story, and the story of Antoinette and your brother Heinz, which comes across in the play, is about ordinary young people talking about boyfriends, talking about school, talking about how I look, and so on. And it's the children that watch the play, and I'm sure Mr. Goldsmith will have exactly the same experience. That's what gets them. And then from that moment on, about halfway through the play, they start realising these are ordinary people, murdered, butchered, in gas vans, fake showers, because they were different, because they were homosexual, or because they were communists, or because they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and the list is endless. So by the end of the play, when Nick starts inviting questions, the whole audience is completely silent. We have our older psychology students, we show it to 14-year-olds, about 1,500 so far. We have our psychology students come along because they're trying to work out about the authoritarian personality and how this could have happened. We have our politics students come along for the same reason, and we have our religious studies students come along for the same reason. There's two things I'd say. One, they all understand what the play's about and the horror of it. But two, none of them really understand how it could have happened. And I think Eva's message of hope and of anti-intolerance, that she's spoken to loads and loads of schools. She goes from place to place talking about how the fragility of the human nature, of the spirit, and how it's been ripped from so many people in the Holocaust. But what she is anti-violence, anti-bullying, anti-intolerance, And I think she's done more than 1,000 lectures for me and other people like me.
Yeah.
And I praise her work.
Thank you, Dennis, for that. Just before I invite you to say a few words, I'd just like to thank a few people here who